Jada and Will met on the set of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and married in 1997 after a whirlwind romance that found Jada pregnant with her oldest child, her son, Jaden. Some say it was her mother, Adrienne Banfield Norris, which also happens to be my mother's name, and they also happen to have grown up together here in Baltimore. But it was Adrienne that convinced Jada to walk down that aisle with Will. Now, I'll add that Adrienne is a serial bride a bit, so her mindset at the time may have been a bit different. I remember the first time I met Jada. It was at her mother's second wedding at the Mediso Club, which is sort of a frat house for African-American doctors here in Baltimore. And ironically, the thing I remember most about Jada is her hair. She was flying all around, dancing everywhere, and had all this hair. So stick a pin in that for a second, and we'll get back to that later when we discuss her alopecia and the smack, okay? So as I was saying, Adrienne has been married about 3 or 4 times, but her marriage to attorney Warren Brown is still up for debate. So I'm pretty sure that she's been married at least 3 times, perhaps as much as 5 times. So her perception of marriage may be just a little distorted. So soon after Jaden, daughter Willow followed about 2 years later. Now, we know the couple have elevated their brand to become the most powerful black couple in Hollywood and comparably powerful in TV and film, regardless of race. Unfortunately for Jada, she has not had as much success in her career and is not regarded as the greatest actress in the world. Now, side note, she may not be a great actress, but Jada is a phenomenal dancer. I give credit where credit is due. Jada is truly a gifted dancer. But her acting leaves a lot to be desired. So fast forward to years later. They're raising their children to include Will's oldest son by his first wife, Sheree Zampino, and life seems great. They're appearing on all the red carpets. They're stunting on the gram. Speaking of the gram, that does bring me to a situation that happened with Willow in 2014 when she was 13 and was photographed with a shirtless 20-year-old actor, and she's laying in his lap. I'm bringing that up because I remember distinctly Jada speaking out about it. She said it was completely innocent, yada, yada, in defense of her daughter. But I don't remember Will ever saying a word about the situation. Let's stick a pin in that and move forward. Well, no, let's back it up a bit. And Lisa Ray McCoy and Tisha Campbell entered the chat. Back in 2006, 2008, Lisa was married to a guy named Michael Missick, who was the chief minister of the Turks and Caicos. Lisa Ray alleged that her then husband was involved in explicit activities with Tisha's then husband, Dwayne Martin, and Will Smith. She basically credited them for the dissolution of her marriage and alleges that Will Smith likes to pay for gay activities. The situation with Dwayne Martin and Will Smith is a whole other video with, the whole thing with Will Smith loaning Dwayne Martin money for his house and what happened with that is a whole convoluted story that we will have to get into another day. But bottom line, no pun intended, is that Dwayne Martin and Will Smith have a close and personal relationship. So stick a pin in that. So then there's also the Mark Anthony of it all around 2011. Allegedly, after Mark was added to the cast of Jada's show Hawthorne, baby, Will caught Jada and Mark together in one of their LA homes in a compromising position. Allegedly, Jada moved out the next day, and Will fired several of the staff for keeping her secret. Now, that's probably how the secret got out, because the staff was probably mad that they got fired for her nonsense and hoish ways. I'm just saying. And then comes the smoking gun. We know that it was around 2015 that August Alsina enters their life, because I saw Storm Monroe's video on the topic in which he showed a picture of Jada, August, and Willow on vacation together. Now, that was in 2015, but it wasn't until in 2020 when August basically busted Jada out in several ways, pun intended. And we know this because she needed a vaginal rejuvenation afterwards. She talked about that on her show. Look it up. Anyway, but Will came on her show, The Red Table Talk, on Facebook to discuss what Jada called an entanglement with August Alsina. Child, I seen that thing. They showed that thing. And I don't know what Will is working with, but I know what August is working with, honey. And I see why she needed that rejuvenation, okay? And it was then that they told us that Will said he was done with Jada at that time and that they had broken up, right? And that her and August had started their in romantic relationship, aka the entanglement. And at that time, it seemed that they were alleging that they had worked it out afterwards and were moving forward together. However, according to Jada's recent interview and memoir, she is claiming that the couple have been living separately since 2016. Interesting. So why all of the fakery, you ask? Jada says that they were considering, quote unquote, how to walk in partnership and figure that out. And we hadn't figured it out yet, but that she had made a promise that there will never be a reason for divorce, and that she hadn't been able to just break that promise, later adding, but we live separately. Interesting, huh? Okay.